What happens in sales a lot of times is people get certain objections or they get certain, hurdles in the sales process like you did with this guy, and
Mhm.
they start to really like dig deep and go in and try to handle it. And they get into, essentially it becomes essentially a chess game with this guy where you make a move, he makes a move, you make a move, he makes a counter move, and it becomes almost like a tit for tat battle. And not only does it get argumentative and all that, it seems like you handled it really well and it was professional. So that actually didn't happen in this scenario, but a lot of times that will happen. But
Yeah.
even besides that, it's just going to be a scenario where every single time, and think about it this way, every single time you say something in the direction of getting the deal done, and they say something back to you in the direction of not getting the deal done, they're solidifying their position. So it's going to be after one to the next, to the next, to the next. It's going to be harder and harder and harder for them to finally turn around and be like, okay, you know what? I'm going to ignore everything I've been telling you for the last 30 minutes to an hour, or whatever it is. And I'm going to go back on my own words and I'm going to actually do the deal now. It's not going to happen. More than likely, they're going to get more and more and more and more solidified in their position the more they explain to you why they're not going to do it, why they shouldn't do it, why they don't want to do it. What's the main like takeaway and teaching point here? The takeaway is you don't want to create an opportunity or an open environment for them to explain to you more and more and more why they're not interested, why they don't want to do this, why it doesn't work for them, why not today. So that's why you don't want to get into this tit for tat type of objection handling where it's like, well, how about this and that? They're like, no. How about this? No. Well, you said this, right? No. Like, and then now it's like every time they're telling you no, they're solidifying that position, right? It's almost like
Mhm.
they're in quicksand and they're slowly sinking. There's no way you're going to pull them back out. That's just a way for you to
Yeah.
think about it, right?
Yeah.
So, how would you handle it? The best way that I've handled all these scenarios, and this is literally, I can give you examples from all different industries that I've been in. It's all been the same. The best way I've handled it is I've never let it get to this point where the customer, one, gets so solidified in their position, or two, it becomes so serious where now again it's like a life or death decision. So the
Mhm.
best way that I like to do it is to handle the general perspective, the general objection, right? So in his case, let's talk about this specific example now. He's telling you, well, I've made a bad investment in the past. I've made a mistake. I've lost money. It didn't work out for me. So I'm scared. He literally told you, I'm scared, right? I'm afraid. I don't want to make another investment. One option is you tackle that and you say, okay, great. Let me ask you a question. Got it. If you don't want me asking, who was that investment with? Or what was that investment in? Now he's giving the details. Okay, great. And one follow-up question on that: how much was that investment that you actually made? It was $100. Oh, okay, we're talking about $100 here. You know what? As a signing bonus for becoming my client and giving me this whatever 997, I'll give you $100 worth of free whatever tips or content, whatever, just to make up for your prior investment. Come on, man, it's $100. At the end of the day, we can't take it to the grave with us. Let's just get this done. So if it's barely anything, it's minimal, and you make a joke of it literally because it's just like pathetic and you don't want to give in to their reality. You want to bring them into your reality. Like, dude, $100. I spent $265 on my dinner with last night. You know what I mean? And you can literally like you can literally say things like that. Like, Caleb, man, like I don't mean to brag here, but I spent double that on my dinner last night. Come on, man. You're gonna make it back. Matter of fact, this is more of the reason to get you, in this, so we can get you in shape, so we can get you doing your best, so we can get you operating at your best, so you can put that energy and focus into your business and actually make that money back in the future. $100 should never be an issue. So, anyways, if it's like a little, like tiny amount, you handle it, you make a joke of it, and literally like want to bring him into your reality and close the deal above and beyond that. If he's like, I invested $10,000 and I lost it all, whatever. Okay, makes sense. Then you follow up with the details of that, right? So what went wrong there exactly? So now you want to dig. Now if you're going to go that direction, now you really want to dig and figure out if it was him and his lack of commitment, his lack of accountability and stuff to actually act on the investment, and it was
Mhm.
his fault that he lost his money, or if he actually got scammed, or what it was. In which case you want to highlight, well, listen, Caleb, you got scammed or whatever because you completely overlooked all these promises that were made to you. You completely overlooked this
Mhm.
scenario. You actually gave somebody this money for something that you weren't absolutely certain of at the time of doing that. Were you absolutely 100% convicted and certain that you're going to get that result? No, I kind of just really gambled and I really wanted to see if I could get it. Okay, well, that's what happened. But here the difference is I can tell you with absolute certainty that if you follow this and this and this and that, you're going to get that result. So again, When you're digging deep, what you're going to do is pull out all these different scenarios, figure out exactly what happened, get the details of the situation, then get what his role in that was and what percentage of it was his responsibility, and kind of break that all down for him. And then what you want to do is, again, bring it back high level and highlight the difference of what it's like working with you and how this is completely different, right? And then again, doing this all at the same time is keeping it light, keeping it, positive. Like, you see how my entire approach is positive, right? So that's one direction. If you're going to go the direction of challenging him on that and digging deep in details and kind of what you did, that's the way I would have done it, right? Now, what I would do always first and foremost, the direction I would go is the other direction, which is trying to handle it at a very high level. Like, I want to look at this from an overview perspective. I'm not going to go into detail. So if he tells me, well, listen, I actually can't do this today. I need to think about it and whatnot because I lost money before and I made a mistake and I got scammed or whatever. And I'm scared of doing and making that decision. The direction I would go is, let me ask you a question. Do you agree that making investments in yourself, making investments in your business, making investments in your health, buying something, whatever it might be, ordering off Amazon, from a third party retailer, like all these different scenarios, would you agree those are all risks in life? Would you agree that every time you step onto the street, that's a risk because there's a huge population out there and you don't know what their medical histories, you don't know if they're mentally stable. Would you agree that every time you drive, you're risking death? I mean, correct, right? You would agree with that. Like, I mean, it's just common sense. Yeah, of course. Well, listen, are you going to stop all those risks and potentials from, crippling you so you can't live your life? Are you going to stop that from you actually driving? Are you going to stop that from you, going to the grocery food and buying food at the risk of it being poisoned? Are you going to, you know what I mean, right? Like, there's risk involved with everything. I'm sure you're not going to live the rest of your life. What are you now? 30 something? Okay, great. You probably have let's hope another 80, 90 years ahead of you. I'm sure you're not going to live the rest of your life, at being timid and being, scared of risks and what's going to happen and what's in front of you, right? You're going to get them to say yes, yes, yes. Okay, great. You're getting those micro agreements. But at the same time, you're painting this picture. You're taking the pressure off. It's that same thing of like, listen, dude, it's not life or death. You're just making a decision here. It's just another decision that you make, right? It's that same frame of mind. It's that framework you're using. But what you're doing here is at a very high level, basically saying, I understand what happened. I totally get it. Acknowledge them, obviously. I'm sorry that happened. On behalf of every entrepreneur, business owner, and everybody that has ever asked for your money, I apologize. I'll personally take responsibility for that. Now, that being said, I don't think you're going to let that negative experience and that one mistake stop you for the rest of your life. Like, are you going to let that stop you from making more decisions for your future? No, of course not. So let's not let your previous, mistakes and bad decisions lead into another bad decision today. We both know the right decision for you is to work with me. We both know the right decision is for you to take charge of your health. You have kids, all the more reason to take care of your health and your fitness. You want to be there for them. You want to be active. When they start running around and they start playing sports, you want to be able to play with them, right? I'm sure you do. I'm not a father, but I can understand. I can relate to that, right? Like, again, you're making all these agreeable statements because then he can come back to you and be like, well, you're not a father. How would you know that? So you want to make all these agreeable statements in advance, right? So basically, I would just tell him, like, listen, at the end of the day, we both agree and we both know this is an investment you should be making in yourself. We both know that this is the right thing for you. And then you can always go through the three, pretty much the value and the price with them. So would you agree that the value that you're getting here, that the package I'm putting in front of you would actually help you get the results if you committed to it? Yeah, if I committed to it, I'm pretty sure I'd get the results. It makes sense. It sounds like a good workout plan and a good nutrition plan. Okay, great. And would you agree that I'm the right guy to work with? Would you agree that I'm at least genuine enough to sit here and talk to you and try to earn your business? Yeah, it sounds like you're a great guy, man. It's nothing about you. I'm just scared because of my past experience. Okay, awesome. Listen, Caleb, I would be doing you a disservice and I would feel terrible in my own heart if I walked away right now, letting you not make this decision, letting a previous bad decision make you make another bad decision today. I'm telling you, it's the wrong decision not to do this, and I'm not going to let that happen. So we can sit here and we can continue to live our lives making terrible decisions one after another because we're scared, or we can make a change. And hopefully after this one and the results you get, you're going to be more open to actually investing in yourself and making better decisions. So listen, let's just do this. Let's get this done. It's going to be a great decision. We're going to help you get that 10 pounds in the next 3 months, whatever. Hit him with specifics so it registers with him or resonates with him, right? We're going to help you get that 10 pounds in the next 3 months. We're going to get that to you. And listen, I want to start our coaching call and I want to pretty much get the plan made for you this week. Let's get to your goals. I mean, how long more are you going to wait and hope that you lost that weight? Let's just get to it. So it's going to be the 1997 or the 997. Personally, I think you should do the 1997, but you tell me which one makes sense for you. and then just smile, like literally put on a big smile and just look at him. Right. So now, I'm not saying that it's going to be magic and he's going to be like, yeah, you know, okay, fine, let's do it. If you do it right, it will
Yeah.
be. But